Hey everybody, I wanted to do a quick video about oiling your machine. This is a Mauser machine that I've had for a while, and it is pretty much, I'm going to say, 95% broken in, but whether you have a new machine or an old machine, you still need to lubricate them in exactly the same way. The difference is that the newer machine, a brand new machine, just needs to be done a lot more frequently. So I want to talk a little bit about what you need to do. And bear with me, I'm using my cell phone and trying to do this, one-handed. So I'm using Tri-Flow synthetic lubricating oil. It comes with this nice long straw that you can use to put your oil on. So basically, you need to put oil on your machine every single place where metal moves against metal. So right now, I have the machine in the table and I have it hooked up with the motor on, so I can actually use my foot pedal to make my machine go. But just be careful, you don't want to use your foot pedal and have your fingers in there at the same time. And I can rotate the handle with my hand. So basically, when you look at your machine, you say to yourself, what do you have to oil? Okay, so it's everything that moves and everything that moves against everything. So for example, if I rotate the hand wheel here, you can see several things going up and down. So that tells you that these things are sliding against each other. And I'm sorry, I'm going to put you into the phone holder for now so that I can stop jiggling you and you can watch, maybe without shaking too much. So let me get you adjusted here. Okay, so now here we are. We're looking at the top of the machine. Actually, let me move you up here a little bit. Okay, we're looking at the top of the machine, and you say, well, what do I have to oil here? So you have to look at everything that moves. So right here we can see, I'm going to use my tube as a pointer. We can see that this piece here is going up and down in this solid block of metal. And so that is riding right against the metal. And you can even see it looks a little different. So you need to oil that piece. So we're going to start out from the front, top, left, and work our way around. So I just put one drop of oil on it, and it drops down, and then I can see it's in contact with the other piece. So that's one thing. And then also, if you look from the top down inside these holes, you can see when you move the hand wheel that there's something in there that's going up and down. So you need to put a drop of oil in there. If your machine is new, you can put 2 drops in, 3 drops, 4 drops, just as long as you put some. So I'm going to put some over here. Put 2, 3 drops in there. And so we've done the top part. And then you have these, hang on, let me get you adjusted here. Sorry, this phone holder is like a big spring. There. So you have these screws. Sorry, hang on a second here. Okay. You have this is the nipple tension adjustment. So you can loosen this and you can work the threads up and down. You should put a drop of oil on your threads before you move that up and down, just to make sure that it's lubricated, because those threads are going into this shaft here that's also threaded. So I have mine snugged down now. This is the nipple pressure. So I'm going to take my crescent wrench and I'm going to loosen this nut here. That's the lock nut. So I'm going to put 1 drop of oil on the threads. Now I know when I'm putting the nut up, it's well oiled. Then I'm going to put a drop of oil here on these threads. And then when I screw this up or down, I know that the oil is getting all over the threads. And I'm sorry, I'm going really, really slow in case there's somebody who doesn't have experience with an industrial machine. So I've oiled that, and then this too. You always want to keep everything oiled. So I'll put that back. I'm gonna just take my crescent wrench, just snug that up. I have a short little crescent wrench. I'm just making it snug. I'm not exerting a lot of pressure. So now I've oiled this inside, outside. Same applies for this here. The locking mechanism is this, and you want to always put a drop of oil on the threads before you run it in or out. So this is the stitch length, and you would loosen this lock washer, and then you put a screwdriver in here, and you can run this up and down to change your stitch length. Then you just take this lever and you make it tight, and it locks your stitch length in. Okay, so going on with the rest of our oiling. Okay, we got this guy already here. Now the next thing I see going up and down, I'm just rotating the hand wheel now, is this thing. So I'm going to put a drop of oil there. And then also, that rotates. So I see the outside part of it is rotating. So I'm going to put a drop of oil there and put a drop of oil up here. That's rotating. Now, yes, I'm going to have free oil on the outside of my machine, but it's better to have that than have a dry machine. Okay, now I'm going to take you out of the holder, and we're going to work our way around a little bit for now. So I'm still working on the top of the machine, and as I turn the hand wheel, I see something else popping up here in the back. So I'm going to put a drop of oil on that, and I'm going to put one on this side, I'm going to put one on that side. I'm still just doing this from the front. So also, I see the whole entire thing on the top is coming up. So I'm going to put a drop of oil on this. You can put it on that side. I can come around in here, and I can put it, I can see, if you look in there, there's a wear mark on this piece all the way in there. Hang on, let me. So you can see that's rubbing something right there. See that mark in the middle? So you definitely want to, right there, sorry, you definitely want to put a drop of oil on that. So I'm going to come in from the, I'm sorry about the wiggling, I hope you're not getting seasick. Come in from the top and put a drop of oil on that. Then I'm going to go back and I'm going to rotate my hand wheel. Check and see I got everything. And then I'm going to spin the handle below, and I got everything up there. Okay, now I'm going to move down here. If we keep going along with what's spinning, I'm moving my light so you guys can see better. I'm going to put you back into the holder. Okay, I'm sorry about this. Okay, and we're going to work our way down. Oops. Okay, that holder is just not working. Okay, we're going to work our way down. We're going to rotate the hand wheel. What is moving? Up and down. So, right here, I see this is moving up and down. So I'm going to put oil in here. One drop, touch it to the thing, and then I'm done. Okay? And that was moving up and down. Oh, and look over here. This is also moving up and down. So I'm going to put a drop of oil here. And I can see there's some kind of dirty oil sort of coming out right there. So I'm going to wipe it off. kind of dirty. And you can wipe it off and then put some fresh oil on it. Go back to rotating the hand wheel. See what else is moving here. Okay, now here's a thing with Singer. Can you see this? Okay, let me try to get the light in here. Sorry, that's another light. So, can you see in here? There's a hole in that part right there in the center. That is an oil port. You need to put oil into that hole. What that hole does is it lubricates a shaft that's inside of that piece. So you need to look for little holes all over your machine and put oil. Here's one here. Wherever you see a hole, there's another one there. Wherever you see a hole in your machine, you need to put oil. So I'm going to keep going here. I'm really sorry about so much movement. So I'm going to put oil into that hole. This thing does not want to focus. I'm going to put oil, a drop of oil into the hole in the back there, and also around the piece that's moving. Okay, so you keep going, you go all the way down your machine, and the oil will be dripping out. Like here you can see oil's dripping out around the bottom here. I'm just going to come in, I'm going to wipe it off. There you go. So you can see this part here is going up and down. I do have some loose oil on my machine right now, but I need to put a drop of oil in here. I haven't used this machine for a couple days, so it's some of the oils like sort of started to seep out. So that takes care of that. And then look up there. Is that moving or not? It's not, but definitely the thing inside is going up and down. So I'm going to need to put a drop of oil in there. And then I can see I get just some standing oil here. I'm just going to wipe it off with the paper towel. And then see this hole here? You want to put some oil in the hole. Okay, that's good. And then if I think I've done everything that goes up and down here, then I'm going to start to rotate the handle from below, and we see what rotates. And then we got to put oil on everything that rotates. So right here, this is moving. So I'm going to put a drop of oil there. Okay, so you keep going along the front and you look at everything that moves. Like this, for example. When I rotate the hand wheel, this goes up and down, right? So I need to put a drop of oil here. Every place two pieces of metal are making contact. Okay, well, let's come back over in here. See if we can look in here. Okay, so in here, when you rotate the hand wheel, things are moving back and forth. I need to lubricate all of this, everything that's moving. Okay, so I sit in the front and I lubricate every single thing that I can see. This was moving. And after a while, you'll get it. You'll see. I got to stick some, and if you can't reach it, you just let it drip down the machine until it gets to where it's supposed to be. It'll all come out the bottom down here, and you can just wipe it up. That's what those like lines there are for. Okay, so now I'm gonna take the cover off, and sorry, that's a extra LED light there. I'm gonna put you back into the holder here, see if we can look on the inside real quick. Okay, so now I'm gonna, usually I squeeze this and I unscrew it, makes it a little easier. Okay, so I'm gonna take my cover off. I'm gonna set it on the side, and I do have some like oil inside of it, so I'm gonna wipe that off and set it down. Okay. Now on the inside, same thing. I have my oil. I'm just rotating my hand wheel. What is spinning? Okay, oh, so we missed this right here. This shaft is spinning. This is an oil hole here, so you can put oil on that one. That one doesn't come out down below, so you can put oil on that. Then I see this is spinning here, so I'm gonna come in here. I'll put a drop of oil here. Okay, got that. And let's just assume I've done every single thing in here that's moving and gotten every single hole. So let's take a look over here now. I'm going to zoom in a little bit here. So sewing machines have oil holes, and that's this thing here. This is a hole for oil to get in, to lubricate the inside of this where this goes back and forth. So you need to be sure that you look at every place something spins through something, and then oil it. So that hole is not really being used because of the stop motion. It's disengaged in this machine. But this one here, this is a hole that this piece has a shaft rotating through it, and that lubricates the shaft. So every place you see a hole, and they're usually located where a shaft passes through something, you put oil there. So there is a oil port on the top of the machine, but you know it's just going to fall down into this area. There's also oil holes over here on your hand wheel. You need to put a drop of oil or two in each one of those. Then down here, when you rotate the handle, these gears are spinning, and so you need to lubricate those. So you can see it's going through the metal here, so you put a drop on this side, and you put a drop on that side, and then you put a drop down here. And it's a good practice to either put actual grease on your gears or to run it around and put a drop of oil on every single tooth, because you want to definitely lubricate the teeth of your gears. I don't have grease on mine right now, and I probably should put some grease on them, but they're well oiled. I have rotated this thing and put drops of oil on every single tooth of those gears, so they are saturated. Then you're going to take the machine out and you're going to do the bottom. There's not a lot to do on the inside. I've already done that. Now I'm going to put you on pause and I'm going to do the bottom. So hang on a minute. Okay, so welcome back. So what I have done is I have lifted the machine right out of the table, and I've set it over here on the side, and I have it resting on a small piece of a 2x4 underneath the neck, so it's not actually touching down on the table, but this is resting on the table here, and it's on a 2x4 back there. So now I'm going to just keep going along in the bottom, and I'm going to oil everything on the bottom. So here we have an oil hole. And put a drop of oil in there. And then I'm going to, like, really carefully, I don't want to knock the machine off the table, I'm going to rotate the hand wheel and I'm going to see what moves. So I see this moving. So I'm going to put a drop of oil here on that, and I'm going to put a drop of oil down here on this thing. And there also is a hole for oil here on this, because this shaft from this screw over here passes through. So I know that there's probably an oil hole for things that pass through large pieces. So I'm going to put a drop of oil into there. And then when I rotated the hand wheel, I saw this shaft going back and forth, right over here with the worm gear. So I'm gonna actually rotate my handle so that I can see that. So I'm gonna have to put a drop of oil on everything that's moving. And like I said, be careful, you don't want to knock your machine off. So I'm just gonna come in here and put a drop of oil here. Doing one movement at a time, the hand wheel. Put a drop of oil there. Move it so the oil gets sucked into the part. I've already done this item. This is moving over here too, over here. So I'm going to put a drop of oil into this part of it. Sorry if you can't see. This does take a little bit of time. You know, you really want to care for your machine because you've put a lot of money into it, and it's going to earn you some money back. So you can see already here, my worm gear is wet with oil because I've lubed the whole thing up with oil. So when I rotate the hand wheel, I can see that looper is moving and the rod is moving back and forth. So I'm going to put a drop of oil here. I'm going to put a drop of oil here. And I'm going to make it go back and forth. And then there's another place to put oil on the looper. Up here there's a little hole. If you look inside, when you rotate the hand wheel, you'll see the looper is spinning inside of there. And then you want to make sure that your gears, your worm gear, is lubricated. Okay, so that's the hand wheel part. Now I'm going to look at the handle part. So now everything that's rotating now needs to get lubricated. So I'm going to come in here, put another drop here, put a drop here, put a drop here. Oops, sorry, you can't see. Put a drop there. There's gears in here. You got to hunt around and you got to put oil every single place. Otherwise, when your machine is running, things get hot, things will heat up and things will swell up. Key thing is to look for any place like that where you can find a small hole that you need to put oil in. It's not that important what kind of oil you use, as long as you're using a lubricating oil and not a penetrating oil. That is the key. Use a lubricating oil and hopefully you will get many, many happy stitches out of your machine. I can't impress upon you how much you have to oil these machines. They are not disposable. They can last for many, many years with the proper care, but you must oil every single thing that moves. Then rotate or wiggle it to be sure that the oil has seeped down into the crack, and then blot any oil that comes off out, and then sew and then oil your machine again. Okay? If anyone has any questions, leave a comment or send me a PM and let me know if you have any questions. But I hope this helps you. You kind of really have to get to know your machines and take good care of them. But you're really going to have to oil everything a lot. And especially if it's a brand new machine, you need to oil it a whole heck of a lot. A lot until it is broken in. And only you will know when it's broken in because you'll have done your best and everything will be running very smoothly and without any binding, sticking, or trouble. And if you notice that you're having difficulty with your machine, be sure the first thing you should do is clean out your nipple in case you have lint in your nipple, because when the nipple gets jammed up with lint, the machine is like effectively trying to force the needle through, and it just creates pressure all along here and to your hand wheel where the belt is spinning. So I hope that helps you. Please look very carefully at your machines and care for them. And like I said, look for these oil holes in every place where there's something spinning through something, and make sure you look at everything and expect to have oil dripping out. Don't expect to oil your machine and stick your fancy project under it right away. You're going to need to put a paper towel or a piece of scrap cloth under to catch any oil that might be coming out when you start sewing, and then sew a little bit and then oil your machine again. Okay, I'm really sorry about the poor video quality, and hopefully you're not getting seasick as I'm moving around. I can't afford a cameraman, so it's just me and my cell phone. Okay, happy chain stitching, you guys. Thanks for watching.